So trade dudes is finally starting to heat up in the NBA. I mean, there's been quite a lot of talks. We've already had a trade. I think it was the San Antonio Spurs, the Celtics, and the Nuggets. Where I think the Celtics got PJ Dozier and Bol Bol. The Nuggets, they got Brent Forbes, and the Spurs, they got Juancho Hernan-Gomez and a second-round pick. So there's already been a trade going on, and it's not even done yet because, the trade deadline is still in February, so we still got a lot of time left. This has been a lot of trade news surrounding Ben Simmons and how the 76ers haven't been able to accept any of these trades. I mean, they got offered, what was it, Jeremy Grant, Sadiq Bey, Kelly Olynyk, and a first-round pick from the Detroit Pistons. The Kings offered, I think it was Tyrese Halliburton, Buddy Hield, I think it was Harrison Barnes, and 2 first-round picks for Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris, but the Sixers declined that because they didn't want Halliburton. I think that was the deal. They weren't interested in a deal that unloaded Tobias Harris's contract and got them Halliburton and 2 firsts. So I think what the Sixers are trying to look for is probably a top 30 player in the league. Now that's for Ben Simmons, it's definitely not realistic, but I feel like soon enough a team is going to bite. But who knows? I mean, the NBA trade news have been heating up lately, especially for the Houston Rockets. We kind of just started out with general news, but the Houston Rockets have been in some news lately. Not saying that they have been doing any trades, but they've been in some news. So today we're going to break down some Houston Rockets news in terms of the trade deadline and talking about some potential moves for the Houston Rockets. But before we get into it, I'd appreciate if you guys drop a like and press the sub button. 5K by the end of this year. Hopefully we can hit it. And I appreciate all the support lately. So smash the like button. It sounds corny, but I'd really appreciate it. But getting back into the video, there was a report today talking about the Houston Rockets searching for a franchise centerpiece worthy player. So this to me is a little bit interesting because I think it tells me that Jalen Green, as good as he is and the amount of potential he shows, the Houston Rockets don't really see him as someone that can fill in James Harden's position. And don't get me wrong, he definitely wouldn't fit James Harden's role because, I think James Harden is a generational talent, someone that can get to the bucket quickly, someone that can just change the flow of the game basically in the in the blink of an eye. And what James Harden was able to do for this franchise is definitely going to take a long time to find someone of that caliber to really fill in that position. But I think the one thing I want to talk about, Eric Gordon is the first guy I want to talk about because he's been mentioned recently in a couple of trade destinations. Now, the Houston Rockets were reportedly looking for a first-round pick in exchange for Eric Gordon, and it makes sense. Over the season, 15 points per game, 50% from the field, which is a career high, 45 from the 3, which is a career high, and 64 true shooting percentage, which is a career high. So he's been shooting lights out, best of his career, and I feel like a contender is going to bite on an Eric Gordon trade pretty soon. Now, what the Rockets are going to get back, maybe a first-round pick and a young player. I'm not really too sure what would be in that package, but I'd assume it'd have to be a first-round pick because that's what the Houston Rockets are looking for as they are rebuilding right now. So some trade destinations that are pretty interesting. The Atlanta Hawks, one trade destination that could potentially be an Eric Gordon suitor. The Lakers, now I don't really see this one happening too much because the Lakers, as good as they are, they don't really have the assets to trade for Eric Gordon. I think their last first-round pick is somewhere in 2027. I'm not too sure what the Lakers draft capital is looking like, but I don't think the Lakers have enough draft assets or even assets at all to really trade for Eric Gordon. And finally, the last team is the Suns. Now, I think Gordon was reportedly having some interest from the Suns, and I really see this as a good potential move. We could get Jalen Smith in the first-round pick. Now, I'm not saying that could happen because Jalen Smith does have some value and what he's been doing over the last few, I wouldn't even say the last few games, but the season overall. He's been proving to be a pretty valuable piece for the Phoenix Suns, and assuming that the Suns do get Eric Gordon, it would be an instant upgrade, especially to their bench, because I think their bench really just lacks some scoring. They got Cam Johnson, is Cam Johnson even starting? I don't think he is, right? Yeah. They got, who else? They got Darius Saric, they got Bismack Biyombo, who's been playing well. So bring in Eric Gordon to play that six-man role, and he'd really thrive in the Phoenix Suns system, playing with Chris Paul, who obviously they were teammates on the Houston Rockets, and I think he would thrive. I think Eric Gordon would thrive in the Phoenix Suns system with Monty Williams, but overall, I think we're just looking for a first-round pick if we can even get one because of his contract, which some would say is a little bit of an overpay, but I think for the caliber player Eric Gordon is, I think it's pretty fair. So, looking at the next player, and probably the final player we're going to be talking about today for the Rockets, Christian Wood. Now, the thing about Christian Wood is that the Houston Rockets, they aren't really looking to trade Wood right now. And it makes sense because obviously 26, I think they want to help. I don't really want to say help, but I think they want to have Christian Wood here to build, the culture with Jalen Green and KPJ as they develop. So it wouldn't be too bad to keep Christian Wood, but they are listening to offers for him, which makes sense too because, I don't know. Christian Wood, 26 years old, he probably would be getting paid by the end of next season because that's when his contract expires by the end of next season. So honestly, Christian Wood, if we can get some value for Christian Wood right now, then I say I'm all for Christian Wood trade. But as of right now, I don't think there's really too many suitors. Still with what happened with I want to say the incident with KPJ and Christian Wood at the Nuggets game a couple of weeks back. I don't think there's going to be too many suitors for Christian Wood, but considering what he's been doing as of late in the last 10 games, actually, he's been averaging 19 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists on 53 from the field and 37 from 3, which are definitely some pretty great stats for someone who is basically, I wouldn't say an all-star, but probably a perennial all-star, depending on if he can, boost his stats up. He's almost up to 18 points per game. He's averaging a double-double. Shooting splits, great overall. In the last 3 games, too, he's been having 20 points plus in each of those. And in the last game against the Kings, he had 14 rebounds, too. So I think Wood could prove to be a pretty valuable trade piece for this Houston Rockets roster. And I don't know, he could be moved. I mean, if we're talking about trades, Ben Simmons is definitely a name I want out there because defensively and his playmaking would be pretty amazing on this Rockets roster that doesn't have too many of those, not types, but abilities. Yeah, playmaking and defense are probably the 2 worst things we do on the court, especially defense, because I think we're the worst rated defense in the league. But bring in Ben Simmons, who can play the defense, who bring in a playmaker that can have some great court vision and could just throw the ball at half court. It'd be really great, and he could be a multi-position defender, someone that could play the small ball 5 depending on what happens. But a trade package would probably have to add John Wall, Eric Gordon. I would assume Jae'Sean Tate would be in there because they are trying to get rid of Tobias Harris's contract. But depending if they want Jae'Sean Tate, just really depends on the Sixers and if they really are willing to buy it. Now, I'm not saying that this trade gets it done because there have been some better trade packages that have been declined. For example, Detroit and the Kings both have been declined, and they were obviously better packages than what the Rockets could offer. But who knows? I mean, John Wall, I still think he has a lot of potential. He could be a 20-7 guy this season, playing alongside Joel Embiid if he gets traded. The thing about John Wall is that he's very inefficient, so that's going to be one thing to look out for John Wall, but he's an exceptional passer. I'm watching some highlights right now, some old highlights, and his athleticism alongside playmaking and defense, I think the Sixers could really use that. So hopefully we can get some trades done soon. I think Eric Gordon gets done or gets traded pretty soon because the trade rumors are starting to heat up for him. Christian Wood, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets moved, but I don't really see it happening as of right now. And as for the other guys, not really seeing too much. Now, if we do get a centerpiece player, maybe like a James Wiseman or a Jonathan Kuminga, that'd be pretty good too, but I don't really see those two happening because, Jonathan Kuminga has been playing pretty well. Now, in terms of James Wiseman, we probably could do Christian Wood and maybe a first-round pick. I'm not too sure what would happen. Maybe adding in another player, or I don't even know. A first-round pick would be pretty, I don't know, actually. For James Wiseman, I think I would do that. Christian Wood and a first-round pick. James Wiseman, it really just depends on the Warriors if they do want to give up James Wiseman. I think if the Warriors do get Christian Wood, it definitely upgrades their offense by a landslide because, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, they can both shoot the ball. Adding in Christian Wood, who can shoot the ball. 3-pointer at best, 36 from 3 this season for Christian Wood. I think he definitely would help out this Warriors roster. But overall, Houston Rockets, they need to start making some trades soon. I believe in Raphael Stone, and hopefully we start getting active in the trade market. But that's the video. I'm GDC, and I'm out. Peace.